Okay, before I get carried away and start doing shit off camera again, I am tackling this subframe, or at least gonna start it. The only thing holding this thing in is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 on the other side. 18 mil bolts. And there's a bolt right there holding the steering rack in, and there's another one on this side over here. And that's pretty much it. The sway bar will come down with it, and it should be relatively painless, but we'll see. Why is it always the simplest fucking thing? Literally the last bolt I have to fucking get loose. It's not budging enough. I think I'm gonna break my fucking breaker bar. God damn it. Oh! Okay, so come back down here. Whole subframe is now loose on its mounting. Trans rear dog bone over here has been taken off, well not taken off, but detached, and the plate is loose and dangling. And all that's left now is to see if I can reach the 2 mounting bolts that hold on the steering rack. And then hopefully, either tomorrow or this weekend, my buddy Troy can come and help me get this off, just to have an extra set of eyes. Oh my God, that was bright. Sorry about that. But yeah, I think we're gonna pick it up whenever Troy finds time to come over here and help a brother out. I did it again. I did a substantial amount of work off camera because I got kind of carried away and bored. So the exhaust is off now, which I guess is gonna be this video, because we have a bare flange there, and this is my exhaust. Well, this and a little downturn thing that's coming for that, but this should be fun. The plan for today, probably finishing out this video, is replacing this hose here with some actual oil safe hosing that I should have just got from the MasterCard in the first place. We're going to throw in the rest of the the entirety of the exhaust and kind of see where it hangs, because I'm going to need to get a hanger, a T-hanger for the middle, welded to either the top or bottom of this guy. But we'll see how that all hangs out up under there. There she is, most of my exhaust, minus a downturn tip that I'll just clamp on. I need to have a hanger welded under here. I think I mentioned that before. And don't mind that. I have a gasket there. And there's already one over here. That's just one of the 2 that came with this. I had to use the gasket that came with the big guy, because it didn't line up with the holes correctly on the flex pipe. But that's whatever. I am just now realizing that I forgot to exhaust wrap the whole thing. So I'm gonna call it for today until I get some exhaust wrap. And I was so excited to have it mounted up too. Oh well. On a lighter note though, over here, I think you saw this already, we have the defouler, just to kind of cheat the decat. And over here we got brand new O2 sensors, because the old ones, as you can see from how bent they are, weren't even setting a signal. I think I'll set these up today and have them ready. Shit. I'm not sure which defouler tip I should use. I'm probably just gonna go with the smaller one and hope for the best. That slips right there, if my pudgy fingers can do it. And I might actually break out the calipers if I could pick up this fucking snap ring, because this snap ring, when in there, jingles a lot. So I might see if I can find a slightly bigger snap ring to go in there for the future. Crush washer, which I'm not going to crush it just yet, but yeah, we'll set that up, and then we'll wait for, I guess tomorrow I'll go get the exhaust wrap and pick it up then. Okay, I guess the theme for this episode is I do shit off camera that I should really be recording. As you can see, the temporary exhaust is currently in, minus the back piece that attaches to the middle hangers, which is sitting in the Subaru right now because it's going to a shop on Monday to get a downturn welded to it, as well as the T-bar exhaust hanger to replicate this thing, which is actually on the underside of the exhaust because the entire thing is upside down right now. So the only thing I have left to really do is get shit powder coated, and that's really not good content. So I'll record some stuff when I get it done, just to show you what it looks like. Beyond that, I think I'll be waiting, because hopefully at the end of this month, or partially into the month after that, I should get the rear trailing arms in and get them powder coated, of course. But then those, along with the front lower control arms that are going to come today, are the last piece of the proverbial puzzle. Well, I say last piece, but I'm also replacing every single bolt from the subframes with stuff from McMaster. But the last big piece that I really have to worry about before everything can start getting thrown back together and I can fucking drive the car. Pardon my French. I guess something I can do in the meantime is get the cowl back together. I have to repair a piece I broke. We'll get this back together, and I don't think I'm gonna restore the plastics because they're whatever, and they're gonna get taken off again in the future when we strip all this out to have it be sent off to have the cage done. So I'm not worried about it too much. We're just gonna throw it back together, bolt the stuff back up to it. I'm not even sure what this is. It's got vacuum lines and shit. If you know what this is, let me know in the comments. I'll look it up and let you know if you're right or not. All right, but yeah, I'll pick it up if I had something else going on or something else happen. Probably gonna be powder coat stuff, to be honest. That's really it. So later. All right, the upper section of the cold air is back on with some help of some 632 bolt screws and nuts. So that's all taken care of. Underneath we have the new downturn put on, along with some hangers. Those might be the hangers I stick with. Not sure. I have some poly ones coming, but those are just some cut down rubber ones that I just had laying around, and it's actually keeping it up out of the way. It's like bringing in. You can see it's like nicely tucked away up underneath, so nothing really catch it. And next thing should be getting the battery box back on. If I could have this angled down, there we go. Battery box back on, battery back in. And over here we have the front subframe, which I'm actually getting it dropped off for powder coat tomorrow, so that should be back soon. The knuckles need to be powder coated. The LCA I just broke down and finally just got stock ones because I didn't feel like waiting for 5-acre Focus to get back to me. And so those will go on once the new subframe comes back from powder coat. I got this bare subframe if someone wants it. It's a little bit rusty, but it's serviceable. And over here we have the brake calipers, which will probably end up also going with the hubs and knuckles to get powder coated with those. And guess what? We got more powder coating stuff down there. Fucking sway bars and strut brace will be powder coated as well. So I think for now I'm just gonna button up the back and put the windshield wipers, wherever they are, back in, and kind of go from there. Cowl cover is in. Well, just the damn border thing is in. All it is a combination of 8 mils, 7 mils, and 10 mils. And she's in, along with the wiper assembly. So all I need to do is fix one of the cowl pieces, because one of the cowl pieces, well, they both have a strip that sits in this groove. And I think on the one over here, I halfway sliced that off or broke that off, so I have to re-glue that on. Engine bay wise, She's set. Well, aside from the battery box, which I'll probably put in right now. Battery is in along with the battery box and cover. The cowl dam border thing is in. Top cowl is in. I might actually take it back off here and repaint it to kind of restore it back to its original color, which, I mean, it's just black, but kind of looks tacky because you can tell it's really sun faded just from where the windshield wiper used to lay. And the wipers are over here, actually, in the pile of bolts. I'll get to that later. But next, I think, goal is this here pile of parts. We'll be going out the powder coat. Everything over here will be the competition orange. Everything over here, which is just the knuckles and spindles, will be going gloss black, just to kind of patternize it. And over here on our bench, we have the caliper setup. Well, not setup, but caliper disassembly and brake line holder things. These will all be competition orange, just to kind of stay with the theme. The only thing after those would be to get the trailing arms in, which I've already paid for labor and stuff on. I just got to get the final tally on how much it will be for the guy to actually weld them up, but it shouldn't be too much. Get those in, get those powder coated. I'll probably wait for those to come in just to send everything, because doing stuff bit by bit is kind of a lot more expensive than just doing it all at once. So there'll be, like, you know, overlap in the labor used and whatnot. But I'll wait till those come in, then everything goes out the powder coat, and then everything gets slapped on. Well, not quite. And over here on our magical table, we have our pile of bolts and other things. These are all like the subframe bolts, and you can tell some of these are really saucy with the rust covering. But it's every single bolt that I've taken off from the subframes, the brake assemblies, the control arms, everything is right there. So everything that's there, I'm going to head up with MasterCar and get a replacement for. Going to be grade 8 or above. I know, especially for the subframe bolts, they're going to exceed grade 8. I have to look into the specifications of those and the torque values, because the ones I get are not going to match those, because I can't get specialty bolts like this with the built-in washer just willy-nilly. I'll have to find, you know, a hardened corrosion-resistant washer and hardened corrosion-resistant bolts, which everything I get will be super corrosion-resistant, so I will never really have to deal with rust ever again unless something really drastic happens. That's kind of on the docket. I don't know if it's going to be in this episode because it's just finding bolts. The last bit of this episode will probably be going over the trailing arms when they come in, because then everything's going out the paint, or powder coat as it were. Also, if someone needs used front trailing arms or a used front subframe, hit me up. They're free. Come and get them. I don't need them. I'm not shipping unless you pay shipping, which is a lot, because they're all metal. But yeah, next thing you should see is the trailing arms come in and me going over those and kind of why I went with those in depth. I think that's about it for today. There's not a whole lot to do left. Actually, scratch that. I just remembered something. So if I switch you back around and we come down here into the engine bay, if we can look very carefully, this little bit of plastic here retains the counterweight from doing that, which is not good, because that causes this. Neutral. Yeah, so that's not good. And I'm fixing that before we drive. And I think part of that is because some of the spacers in the actual shifting tower need to be replaced, which is completely doable as my light falls down. But I have a guy that sells Delrin replacements for that little insert there. I already have one of his pieces that he makes is a Delrin slider bit, which I thought was all I needed. But it turns out that it wasn't. So I just paid him for those. They should be on the way soon. But that might be the next episode, I think. Because this is kind of an involved job. And I wouldn't feel right tacking it on the end of this because we've already done a whole lot. And that might be put in at the probably next episode. I wouldn't feel right putting in at the end of this episode because there's been so much already. So next time, I'll tackle that. I don't know if it'll take too long. It should just be disassemble, put the new piece in, reassemble. But we'll see. I know the shifter tower is a bit more involved. I had to cut some bits off and make sure everything's going to fit correctly. But then I should be able to get into reverse, so that'll be good. But yeah, that's next time, and I'll end off this episode with going over the trailing arms whenever they come in, and then everything will go off the powder coat.